ba bolelang he re Awa, mama. Stop it, please. Okay. Re tlo bina pina setšhaba ya AU, re kgopela le emeng ka maoto, ka ona mokgwa o fela ntse re eme jwalo, re le silent. Thank you very much. We may settle. Mama wa Vuvuzela. Re go poemenyana. Re tlo fa chance. Lebitso la ka ke Peace Mabi. Ke Deputy Minister wa Sports, Arts and Culture. Ke tlo berekisana le MEC wa rona wa Mohai wa Molimpopo, Mme Violet Mathe, MEC wa rena wa Transport, and Mme o mothokogaka ke Mme Fumani Tladi, le Mme Clara Nkuna. Ke bona ba tlo re thusang ka language, ke bona di language interpreters tsa rona. Re a leboga. Re ke thome ke dumedise Ntate President Cyril Ramaphosa, re be re ramamohela mo provinceng ya rona entle ya Limpopo. Ke dumedise magosi ya rena a leng gona ka ditulo tsa bona tse di fapafapaneng. Ke dumedise premier ya rona ya leng gona le ena ya tlotlang a tla a re amogela botse. Ke dumedise di ministera tse di leng gona, the deputy minister, the councillor, the speaker, the officials tse di tlhagang go national, go province le go local government, ka moka lena le amogetswe, DGs kaofela le amogetswe, ntle le lena motiro ka se di gona o, re a leboga. Mare tumedišo ya ka e kgolo e ye ko basading ba rona ba bokgethwa, basadi ba South Africa, re re dumelang. Today, as we gather under the banner of Women's Month, we remember that on this day, in 1956, over 20,000 brave women from all corners of our country marched to the union buildings. They marched with dignity, with courage, and a simple but powerful message. Wathinta bafazi. Wathinta bafazi. That was the message that they were carrying on that day. And those women were mothers, were workers, were activists and leaders. They stood not only against the past laws, but against the broader system of oppression and denied them and all South Africans freedom, dignity, and equality. Nearly 7 decades later, we stand in a democratic South Africa because of their sacrifices. Our constitution today recognizes the equality of all people, and women are no longer on the margins. They are leaders in government, in business, in arts, in sports, and in communities. Yet, their march was not the end of the struggle. It was the beginning of a journey. We have made against in representation, education, and economic participation, but challenges remain, especially for women in rural areas, women in townships, and women in informal economies. Having said that, I want to introduce formally Premier wa rona gore atle gore amogela a be a re bulele le mosebetsi. Premier, over to you. Amogela Premier gape ka lehofi.
Thank you, Nakenza, Mufambisi Wantiro, Manana, Deputy Minister Waina, Deputy Minister Mabe, Namanana Susana Violet, Kuri MEC Waina, Wanzaulo, ya Transport and Community Safety. The President of our country, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Muatamela Zvuya Cyril Ramaphosa. na n'wina vaseketeli va tiholobye, xipikara xa hina xa legislature na timembara ta executive council, members of parliament and members of the legislature, Her Majesty Queen Masalanabo Muchachi the 7th, Bakankosi Bengbatiku, Bakankosi Bjakamhlaba, Nangwina Bayindu Inkwabu Yabukosi Bjakankuna, Amisheweta. Mahoshi arina khotloa diliting tša rena ka o fapafapana na bathobele bothe na misanda yote re pano barangapanda ba zwa boreredi ke ra lena baetapele ba dikereke tša o fapafapana, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, my special greeting goes to all the women in our country today, and I say Happy Women's Day. Mr. President, as Limpopo, we are saying to you a warm and hearty welcome to each and every one of you who gathered here today at the vibrant Nkowankowa Stadium as we commemorate the National Women's Day under the uplifting theme of building resilient economies for all. Mr. President, it is always a privilege to have you with us, as we shall never get tired of saying, welcome back home, kumbe mukeriwili ekaya. We understand that your presence is not just a gift to Limpopo, but a shared treasure for the entire nation and indeed the global community. The last time we received you in this very same stadium, our hearts were heavy as we mourned the loss of our reverend warrior, Ndate, the late Comrade Nkowankowa. But your comforting words on that solemn occasion helped us to find solace in our grief and true to the testament of your compassionate leadership. Today, however, we gathered here with sprouting enthusiasm and overflowing hope, just like a fertile land after a nurturing rain. The spirit of the 69 years of Women's March invigorating our purpose. As we celebrate, we are reminded that your commitment to women empowerment is reflected in the 50% representation of women in your cabinet. This is more than just a statistics. It is a seed of promise that blossoms in the hearts of all women across our province. So, President Waina, amikensa ikwakalawo isibona na ka cabinet ya n'wina ku ri more than 50% iva mhani, mara message wa hina ka hina va mhani hi fana ku stiva ku ri ha makhosikazi a duma a nghena parlamenteni, ha uli premier ya mme u tsive ku ri u tshwere mathata a bo mme kaofela mo magetleng a hao, ha uli ministera wa mme u tsive ku ri ke mathata a hao go bontsha gore bo mme ba bangwe le bona ba a attendiwa. A re gopole gore ka 1956 be go sa matšhe di academia alone, be go sa matšhe ba go tseba go bala le go ngwala fela. Our domestic workers were also part of that march. Not all of us will go in parliament. Not all of us will hold positions in companies that are listed in the stock exchange. But as that woman who has been able to make it, the question I'm asking is, are you carrying the problem of women on your shoulder now? How will MEC mo lekgotla petishi wa kgoro ya maphelo bo mme ba sa tlhokofala dipetlele ba belega o tsebe gore a o dire tšona ga o le molekgotla phetiši wa badirela leago re bona face of poverty is only a black woman. The question is what is it that we are not doing? How le MEC wa tša temo o tseba gore in this area where we are, Mr. President, women are farmers in their own natural well-being. They just need that support from Molekgotla Petition. Gore focus ya rena must be on women so that they establish themselves. The theme, yeah, building a resilient economy, an economy that is like a woman, because women are resilient in their nature. I'm not saying anything about you men, but I'm just saying if our economy can follow the resilience that women continue to show, we will go somewhere. Many women are staying in abusive marriages. It's not like they don't want to leave, but the question is, ha ke tsamaya bana ba tlo ja eng? Ha ke thala monno ka re ke ena source of income, go tlo diragala eng? And ba gotelela until ba tswa ka lebitla. Now we are saying, Mr. President, if we build a resilient economy for all, that is inclusive, starting with black women, because the face of poverty is a black woman. We need to start there. Empower our women. Renali capacity, President. Reno nyaka support. Basadi baba khona ulema ba. And really basadi reality President. Hore ka nnete le tlo re tlisetsa tša moruo mo provinceng ya rena. Tourism ke bo mme ba ba berekang in that industry, but they are not the shareholders, they are not the directors, but they are the ones who are running the tourism sector. So we are saying, Mr. President, are you supporting bo mme ba ba rena? As I conclude, Mr. President, you didn't make a mistake by coming back in this particular municipality, because it is in this area where I don't sleep because of gender-based violence. Just few weeks ago, I was with the provincial commissioner having to deal with a brutal rape of a 17-month-old baby just here in Tzaneen village. And I'm saying we've become a society, even animals are better than us. I've never seen a dog attacking its puppy. I've never seen a cow attacking a calf. I see it here. Therefore, we will work together with you, Mr. President. Lead us into liberating our women. Our women are in pain. My colleague who studies psychology PhD did a research, Mr. President. In her research, she published that in Limpopo, in some areas, a girl child has got 4 times chances of being raped in her lifetime than graduating. That is not all. That is not what Lilian Ngoyi marched for. That is not what the 1956 class fought for. They fought for the liberation of all African, including women. In those words, I'm saying, Mr. President, welcome to the province that is peaceful, the province that has got opportunities. All we need is that. Give us space, you will see us. We can outsmart all your provinces. Ke a leboga.
Ra leboga premier wa rona ka mantswe ya monate o re basadi ba re le mo di positioning tse kgolo ba re ke di position tse executive, ha o le councillor, ha o le speaker, ha o le mayor, ha o le go legislature, ha o le go parliament, ha o le deputy minister, ha o le minister, ha o le DG tsa basadi ba bang le wena ne o re if you rise, bring other women with you. Oscar rise only one. Ke mantswe a monate a re gotseng ka ona a re filweng ke mme Charlotte Maxeke, as we continue to celebrate this wonderful day under the theme Building Resilient Economies for All. I will now invite the school. They are ready to give us a rendition. Thank you. Over to you. Okay. All right. Just hold. I'm advised that I'm advised that we must all rise because the Merensky High School, they are going to give us the redemption on the preamble of the Constitution. So, hari bua ka preamble ya Constitution, re kopa go re emela. Ebere didimala.
Testing. Good morning, Mr. President, ministers, and fellow South Africans. My name is Fanisa Chabalala, and I am proudly representing Merensky Agricultural Academy. I'm here with my fellow learners, Sikedi Raulani, Zainab Wahaja, Shekhaina Ramabulani, Zenei Foslur, Lerato Ramashasha, Zoha Patel, Zoha Hanif, and Zakani Malungani. And we are here to recite the preamble of the South African Constitution.
We, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of our past.
Honor those who suffered for justice and freedom in our land. Respect those who have worked to build and develop our country.
No themba leswaku Afrika-Dzonga iya vanhu hinkwavo lava tshamo eka rona hi hlanganile hi ku hambanahambana eka hina.
Kutani ku tirhisa vayimeri va hina lava hi tihlawuleleke vona hi ntshunxekile hi amukela vumbiwa tanihi nawu lowukulu wa Republic ku endlela ku
Fidisha Dipapona Tsagalu Lesecha Bengle Siu se Tetukele Motayo Tsabatu.
Aga metheo ya setšhaba se se lokologilego sa demokrasi mo mmušo o teilwego godimo ga thato ya batho mme mo moagi yo mongwe le yo mongwe a sireleditswego ke molao ka go lekana.
Die lewensgehalte van alle burgers te verhoog en die potensiaal van elke mens te ontsluit.
In verenigde en demokrasie Suid-Afrika te bou wat sy regmatige plek as 'n soewereine staat in die gemeenskap van nasies kan inneem.
May God protect our people. Nkosi sikeleli Afrika. Murena buluke sichava sa Yesu. Khotsien South Africa. God bless South Africa. Mudzimu futhuthetsa Afrika. Hosi katekisa Afrika.
Thank you very much, Merensky High School, for a wonderful rendition. I will now call upon our Minister, Mme Sindisiwe Chikunga, our Minister in the Presidency for Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, to give us a message of support and also to introduce and invite the President. Over to you, Minister.
Thank you very much, program directors, sign language interpreter, Ms. Clara Nkuna, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, ministers and deputy ministers that are present here today, Premier of Limpopo Province, Dr. Popi Ramathuba, and members of the Provincial Executive Council, Deputy Minister in the Presidency for Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, Mema Paseka, Steve Litsike, mayors, members of parliament, legislature and council. I would also want to recognize UN Women Multi-Country Representative for South Africa, Ms. Aletta Miller. Mr. President, Ms. Aletta Miller is part of us. Wherever we are, she is present. She supports women of South Africa with everything she has. We acknowledge you, Ms. Miller. Veteran women of our liberation movement, leaders of faith-based, traditional, business and civil society organizations, young women visionaries and trailblazers across the country, Chairperson of the NYDA board, Dr. Sunshine Miende, and board members that have joined us today, distinguished guests, fellow South African, but in particular, South African women. Malibongwe, igama lamakhosikazi, wathinta abafazi, wathinta imbokodo, wena igama lamakhosikazi malibongwe, igama lamakhosikazi malibongwe, 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 igama lamakhosikazi malibongwe, igama lamakhosikazi malibongwe, 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 igama lamakhosikazi. I so wish I was able to speak the local language, but please forgive me because I cannot. It is with deep honor and profound humility that I stand before you today on this sacred ground at the Nkowankowa Stadium as we commemorate Women's Day. This is an occasion etched in the fabric of our history, a symbol of bravery, a reminder of resilience, and a clarion call to justice and empowerment. We gather here not merely to celebrate, but to recommit ourselves to the vision of a South Africa where every woman and a girl, regardless of where she is born, the language she speaks, or the body she inhabits, can live in freedom, dignity, security, and prosperity. On this day, 69 years ago, over 20,000 fearless women marched to the Union Building in Pretoria to demand the right to exist with dignity. Among them was a titan of liberation struggle, Mama Lilian Ngoyi, a trade unionist, a political leader, and the first woman elected to the ANC National Executive Committee. One of her defiant declarations, she said, "Let us be brave, we have nothing to lose but our chains." That call remains relevant today as millions of South African women still battle with the modern chains of poverty, exclusion, violence, and inequality. Today, in the spirit of Lydia Ngwenya, we say enough is enough. Today, in the spirit of Joyce Mashamba, we declare that the march continues, not just in the streets, but in every policy we shape, in every budget we draft, and every program we implement. Deputy Minister Litsike, we must, however, also salute mothers, aunts, grandmothers, Bomafati, Borafadi, Bobokwani, whose wisdom holds the cultural and spiritual line, carries the intergenerational knowledge, and guides households and clans in times of transition and trial. I also want to salute Mepopi Ramathuba, the Premier of the Gateway to Africa, for her courageous leadership in our fight against child and teenage pregnancy. She says, and I quote her, "We will not accept a society where a 9-year-old girl child is pregnant and gives birth to a child while she herself is a child." That message is important. Viva Popi Ramathuba, viva! Program Director, this Women's Month is themed Building Resilient Economies for All, a powerful declaration that women's economic empowerment is not a side issue. It is a central pillar of our national development and a social transformation. To bring this theme to life, we structured Women's Month 2025 around 4 weekly focus areas. For week 1, we said we are supporting women-led enterprises. Women 2 will be saying digital and focusing on digital finance and bridging the credit gap for her. And week 3 will be focusing on investment in care infrastructure, the infrastructure and the economy that is not taken seriously. We are saying care economy must be policed. The week 4 will focus on gender-based violence and femicide, and that will be about prevention through education and community engagement. We are saying to men, please stop abusing us as women. You have one thing that we need from you, to love and love us, and that is all. But also, President, allow me to highlight some of the impact of the first week of our Women's Month. President Ramaphosa, we launched Women's Month with the Empower Her Trade Fair, a very bold and vibrant platform that connected women entrepreneurs to real opportunities. We were oversubscribed because we wanted to have 30 women-owned businesses, but we ended up with more than 500. Over 700 buyers and investors, banks and partners attended, and exhibitors ranged from crafts and textiles to agribusiness and services and tech. I just want to refer to what just one woman said post that trade fair. One woman actually shared that on a normal day, she makes 500 rand. On a great day, she said, she makes 1,500 rand. However, at our Empower Her Trade Fair on the 1st of August, she said she made 20,000 rand in just that single day. And thank you. And this is the kind of impact we must replicate across the country. Over and above that, the 2 banks that have sponsored the trade fair, that is ABSA and Standard Bank, committed to annually fund the trade fair. They actually said it must now be an annual event and it must go to all provinces. They said they are going to appoint a project manager on our behalf. And therefore, we will be coming to even Limpopo province. President Ramaphosa, this was not just an event, it was a statement that South Africa's women are not on the sidelines of the economy. They are building, they are trading, they are employing, they are exporting, and they are ready to lead the next frontier of inclusive economic growth, but at the same time, somehow they are left behind. Mr. President, there are many solutions that are coming from women organizations throughout the month. Just this week, the Circle of Global Women in Business committed to the development of women-led e-commerce platform, connecting South African women to global market. They are committed to funding that will support women in agriculture, crafts, and creative industry. Yesterday, at the Women in Print conference, we received commitments to have young people, young women in particular, trained for various opportunities in the print industry, such as packaging, signage, printing, and visual communication. In the week ahead, all roads will lead to Cape Town for the Women's Parliament, and at the end of the month, we'll close with the Empower Women Summit, where over 2,000 women from across sectors will unite to say what has been done and what still needs to be done. Allow me to also acknowledge the many Women's Month activities planned across departments and various spheres of government, as well as society at large. Just yesterday, the Justice, Crime Prevention and Security Cluster, led by Minister Kubai, undertook a gender-based violence and femicide awareness and prevention activation in Mizo, in Mopani district. These activities must not just be symbolic, they must drive real change. As I close, Honorable Premier Ramatuba, you and I can agree that opening market access for women is definitely not a rocket science. It is just a will. As we host the G20 and lead various groups, we must ensure that women are not watching from the sideline. They must be at the center. I'm calling on every minister, every department, every sector leader present in this room, that when you procure for your G20 conferences, your decors, your catering, your translation services, the branded goods, the corporate gifts, look no further. Look at the women of South Africa. They are doing it. This is produced by women of South Africa. This is produced and made by women of South Africa. They will just cost you 300 rand each. And we are saying this is beautiful enough to be gifts that you can give to your guests. Buy from our women. And therefore, we are saying, Program Director, the Women's Month is active, it is visible, and it is full of purpose. Just this past week, we welcome the new National Youth Development Agency Board appointed by the President. Once again, it is led by a young woman, doctor, that is a PhD doctor, Minenhle Sunshine Myende. Ayaroka mayanga yanga ayaroka. Mr. President, allow me to call on stage for South Africa to meet the new board of the National Youth Development Agency, but also to shake your hand, Mr. President, because it is you yourself who appointed them. And I will request that Deputy Minister Steve Litsike joins the President in shaking the hands of our new board of the NYDA. I thank you very much. Ama, ayaroka mayanga yanga ayaroka.
Ayaroka mayanga yanga yaroka. Ayaroka mayanga yanga yaroka. Thank you very much. Greetings to the President, Minister Chikunga, and all the dignitaries present. Igama lami Sekshiwo, I'm Dr. Sunshine Nyende. The Minister has requested that I introduce the board members. Next to me is Mr. Bonga Makanya, who is the Executive Deputy Chairperson. You can greet.
Amanda. No, morning colleagues, morning to His Excellency, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. Thank you, I greet you colleagues, thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bonga Makanya. We have Ms. Sandra Kelly Baloyi. You can come through. Can I say, Mr. President, Ms. Kelly Baloyi is from this particular province.
Good morning, Mr. President, the MEC, the ministers, MECs, and the people of South Africa and Limpopo. I was born just in the Taba Hospital 30 years ago, and my family's from Nkowankowa, so this is a very special day for me, and I am proudly Tsonga, a Tsonga young lady from Limpopo.
Thank you very much, Ms. Baloyi. We also have Ms. Tembisile Mahua, who's also a board member. Ms. Tembisile.
Malibongwe! Igama lamakhosikazi. Humble greetings, Sanbonani, beautiful, beautiful people of Limpopo. Your Excellency Sanbonani, I'm honored, Chair, to form part of this board, and we are looking forward to working with the amazing, amazing young people of Limpopo. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much, Ms. Tembisile. Mr. President, we also have Mr. Ndumiso Kupega, who's our new CEO of the agency. Mr. Ndumiso.
Greetings, Mr. President, ministers. Malibongwe! Igama lamakhosikazi. Thank you so much. We certainly look forward as the NYDA to be working with young people in the province, and thank you for such a wonderful, wonderful Women's Day celebration. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Ayeye with young people, ayeye! Forward with youth development in South Africa, forward! Ayaroka mayanga yanga yaroka! Thank you very much.
Halala NYDA, halala. Halala bantu abasha base South Africa, halala. Tata bo mama tata. Program Director, it is my honor and privilege to invite to the podium the President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa. Asoze sapela manda. Lelizwe elamakhosikazi. Asoze sapela manda. Asoze sapela manda. Asoze sapela manda. Asisoze apela manda. Asoze apela manda. asoze aphela amandla.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Abshay. Nemachero. Dumela. Khuyemwore. Good morning. Lochani. Thank you so much. Program directors, the women of South Africa, and better still, the beautiful women of South Africa. As I was coming in, I was met by the Minister, Chikunga, Premier Ramathuba, and MEC Mavungu. And one of the things that struck me, and I told them that you are all looking so beautiful. But I hadn't seen beauty yet. I had to come into this hall to see all of you women looking so beautiful. And we men are not supposed to see this, but you are also so well dressed, so beautifully dressed. So it's a real pleasure for me to be here. And I extend my greetings to the ministers who are here present, the deputy ministers who are also here, the premier of our province, and the MECs who work with her, the executive mayor of the Mopani district, Her Majesty Queen Masalana Abomujaji, traditional leaders who are also here present, community leaders and religious leaders, and of course representatives of various political parties and the residents of the Limpopo and the Mopani district, and all fellow South Africans. This is a very special day. It's a day on which we celebrate the women of our country, but it is also a day on which we remember the bravery and the courage of the 20,000 women who marched on the union buildings where I work today, demanding the scrapping of the passes which the apartheid government had decided should be carried by the women of our country. They marched in their thousands from all over the country to make that demand. And they wrote their demands on reams of paper, which they delivered at the union buildings. And we have symbolized that march at the union buildings by putting two rocks. One big rock, which is like a bowl, and another rock on top, which is the grinding rock or medium. And that is where imbokodo imagery comes in. And where we say, watinta bafazi, watinta imbokodo. And each time we have a state visit, I make it a point as we go down the stairs to the amphitheater of the Union buildings to explain to those heads of states who come here what the Union building symbolizes. The Union buildings, other than being the seat of government, is also a memorial of how the women of our country stood up against a mighty government of apartheid and opposed it and marched on the Union buildings. So today we celebrate that day. Sinitsakisa swinene ku ri ni va la Nkowankowa hi ta yimbelela, hi ta vulavula hi mintirho ya vanhu vavasati va hina la South Africa. Ha mi khensa ka hinkwaswo leswi mi swi endlaka. Hi n'wina va mhani va rixaka, i n'wina va sesi va rixaka, i n'wina va kokwani va rixaka. Ha mi khensa swinene, ni tsaka swinene loko ni mi vona mi ri laha hinkwenu ra munhu. Now, we the fathers, the grandfathers, and the uncles and the sons of our nation, we are also here to celebrate this day with you. We are here because we honor you. We are here as the men of our country to pay tribute to you, because we have to honor you as the women of our country. You are the fabric of our nation. You are the glue that keeps our nation together. You give birth to us. You care for us. And so today we honor you and we pay tribute to you. On this day, we say, Malibongwe igama lamakhosikazi. And I say, Malibongwe igama lamakhosikazi, so that all the men of South Africa should know that as men we must respect the women of South Africa. We must do what Minister Chikunga was saying. We must love the women of South Africa. And I will say to men, if you don't have anybody to love, come to me, I will show you. I will direct you. Taukrela msadi. Aosa tebu freya. Ute mon naketa ubonsa. Oro uprei wajwa. Yesterday, when a woman is empowered, everyone gets empowered. When a woman prospers, everyone prospers. When a woman rises, we all rise. I saw that yesterday. Yesterday we went to launch a water facility in Vereeniging. We were led there by the Minister of Water and Sanitation. We were launching a facility that will deliver 600 million liters of water a day to Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Northwest, and Free State. Now, as they were taking me through this whole facility, lo and behold, the people who were showing me everything, how it works, the machinery, how they draw water from Lesotho, from the Val Dam, and how they wash and clean the water, and how they process the chemicals and everything. At every stage of that whole process, it was women who were leading the process. They are the ones who were telling me that, Mr. President, I designed this whole facility of 5 billion rand. Each one was saying, I am an engineer, I'm a civil engineer, I'm a chemical engineer, I'm a water engineer, I'm a biologist, and. So women yesterday were demonstrating to me that they are capable, they are able to do things, they are even able to manage complex processes. And when I left, I had this sense that indeed, this country is doing a lot to empower the women of our country. That's why I say, when you empower a woman, you empower everyone. Lehono re batlo bolela ka tseo tse mmuso wa rena o di diang go etsetsa gore bomme ba setšhaba se sa South Africa ba tswelle pele. Re batla go bolela ka mathata a ba kopanang le ona ha ba ntse ba tswella pele le maphelo a bona. Mamotla re batla go bolela ka tseo tse ba tshwenyang go etsetsa gore re kgone go di lokisa. But at the same time, yes, we pay tribute to all the imbokoto of our country in terms of what they do. Yes, men were already subjected to humiliation for carrying passes, but the women of our country were subjected to the triple oppression. They were oppressed because they were women. And let it be clear, all women were oppressed, both black women and white women and colored women and Indian women. When we talk about the empowerment of the women of our country, we are also talking about all the women of our country. White women, even though they were part of the privileged class, they too were not allowed to get into high positions. They were not allowed to thrive and demonstrate the ability of women. So the process that we are involved in of empowering women, it is a wholesome process. We want to empower all the women of South Africa. And as we empower them, we will embark on programs, we will embark on initiatives that will enable the women of South Africa to rise. And it is on a day like this, when we celebrate the women of our country, we celebrate all. But it is also a day on which we make a clarion call to accelerate the role of women in the economy and to empower them, as well as to tackle complex barriers such as poverty, inequality, and unemployment that continue to hinder their development. Yes, as the Premier was saying, till today, yes, the color of poverty is still seen in the face of a black woman. And this country remains committed to making sure that we address the challenges that our women continue to face. The theme of this year's Women's Month is building resilient economies for all. But I will say it must be about building resilient economies to empower the women of South Africa. That's what it should be about. Now, one of the overriding and overarching purpose of having these types of commemorations is not only to remember what happened when the 20,000 women marched on the Union buildings, is to actually ensure that during this month of August, we keep on raising the flag about the important role that women should play to participate in everything that affects their lives and the lives of all of us in South Africa. Starting with leadership, we need to make sure that the women of our country do participate in the leadership of various sectors in the country, be it, yes, in the cabinet, yes, in parliament, yes, in the municipality, in companies, in every aspect of South African life. We must make sure that there is participation by women. Now, we are making sure that this happens as a cabinet of the Republic. When ministers come forward, when they want to appoint committees, and we've got many committees of state-owned enterprises, of various commissions, even today with the NYDA, when they come forward, they bring names. The question that is always asked, and I always ask, do you have 50% women representation or not? And when it is not there, they are turned back. We tell them that we cannot continue having a situation where we have committees, where we have structures, and the women of our country are not represented. So it has now become a law. It has now become a protocol and a practice that any structure that we put together must have 50% or more representation by women, and ideally more, because women, I must say, even talking about against my own tribe of women, of men, that I have found that women always make a much more meaningful participation and input than men. Sorry, men, but women are a shade cleverer than the men. And so therefore, that is why we insist that every structure that we put together must ensure that women are brought into leadership positions. We also want to focus on advancing women's access to decent work, to entrepreneurship, to financial inclusion, to every aspect that will promote their economic well-being. Riftoda uri batho ba bafumakadzi ba songo siwa murahu hu tshi ḓiwa kha zwithu zwa mishumo, hu tshi ḓiwa kha zwithu zwa ikonomi, ba dzhenisiwe ba kone u vhona uri na vhone ba kone u bvelela phanḓa. Now, as government, we have accelerated the process of making sure that, yes, at the economic level, the women of our country are indeed empowered. Now, these developments indicate that South Africa's resolute drive towards establishing gender parity is strong. We have consistently grown the number of women taking key positions in leadership roles. The heroic march of the women of 1956 in many ways paved the way to ensure that the women of our country have equal rights. Their courageous actions culminated in the creation of a non-sexist, non-racial state that was cemented through our Constitution. And it was quite pleasing to hear the young girls from the school, the agricultural school, Merensky Agricultural School, reciting the preamble of our Constitution. And this is pleasing because these young girls grow up knowing our Constitution, but not only knowing the Constitution, knowing that the Constitution is an instrument that they can use to enforce their own rights. There is today greater inclusion of women in various sectors of our life, in the economy, and also in key leadership positions. There is progress, but this progress, fellow South Africans, is not enough. We cannot rest until we have achieved gender equality throughout society. Today, the women of our country continue to reap the benefits of the changes that were ushered in through the brave actions of the women of 1956. But there is still a lot that we need to do. And over the years, government has done a lot to accelerate access to basic education. The Employment Equity Act has also been another tool that we have used. And this is where it becomes funny for me that there are those in our society who oppose the Employment Equity Act, who also impose empowerment instruments that we've put together. And they least realize that all those instruments are meant to lift all those who were oppressed by the previous system, including those white people who the previous system gave privileges to. It did not give all the privileges because people who are disabled, who happen to be white, were not empowered. People who are women who happen to be white were not empowered. And it is through these acts, employment equity and various other acts, that we are seeking to raise everyone to the fore who were disadvantaged in the past. And the women of our country are the ones who need to be lifted up more because they have borne the brunt of the oppression of the past. The empowerment of women will contribute to sustainable development. It will contribute to inclusive growth and the cultivation of resilient economies. About 40% of preferential procurement in the public sector is meant to go in the direction of empowering women-owned businesses. We declared this, and we want to make sure that indeed it does happen. Kwendela kuri loko government wa hina a xava swilo, hi lava ku vona ku ri 40% ya swona swi ta nghena mavokweni Abanu, ba hina, ba mani, ba hina, ba sesi ba hina. It's a business double. We want to make sure that women-owned small medium enterprises are supported through the National Empowerment Fund, the Small Enterprise Finance Agency, and various other finance agencies. Yes, including the newly formed 100 billion rand National Empowerment Fund that we decided on just past this budget and past the State of the Nation. Our government must continue to work towards enhancing gender equality and empowerment. We are committed to expanding economic opportunities for women through skills training, entrepreneurial support, access to funding, as well as the sectoral partnership to place women in key sectors of the economy. We also want to continue our work to increase the participation of women in key sectors such as science, technology, engineering, maths, as well as the green economy and industrial sectors. We do not want to see our women playing menial roles. We do not want the women of our country continuing to play roles of being cleaners or being house servants. We want the women of our country to rise, to play key and pivotal roles in the economy of our country. There must be scientists, there must be engineers, there must be accountants, they must be doctors and the best that this country can produce. We also want to increase women's role in digital finance, which includes digital banking and access to finance and investments. Women-led enterprises are being supported through policies, mentorships, and funding. Now, through capacity building initiatives, we aim to increase the participation of women, yes, in politics, in business, and in society. In Greater Tzaneen, women make up a significant portion of the population and continue to play critical roles in education, health, agriculture, and the informal economy. And yet, much like many other parts of the country, women continue to battle unacceptable levels of gender-based violence, high unemployment, teenage pregnancies, limited access to economic opportunities, as well as patriarchal social structures that are barriers to their full empowerment. Women continue to struggle under gender-based violence. This issue of gender-based violence has become a very painful issue to many of us, because rather than see gender-based violence going down, we continue to see incidents of gender-based violence. But what is more troubling is how the men of our country continue to abuse women, not only by killing them, by raping them and brutally killing them, but it gets worse when it actually involves the rape of children. Children as young as a few months, children as young as 2 years, and the impregnation of young girls, as it was being said earlier here by Minister Chikunga. That is painful. And that is why we say we must all rise against gender-based violence. we must all rise, men and women, and make sure that we bring the levels of gender-based violence down. In many ways, many women continue to struggle to go through life. Yes, they struggle to have access to basic services, especially water. Many women in our country rely on boreholes, but they are often non-functional due to theft, lack of maintenance, and lack of proper infrastructure installation. We cannot and will not leave anyone behind, including the women of this area here. There are therefore serious questions that need to be answered when it comes to service delivery that negatively affect the lives of women. We therefore need to do as much as we possibly can to address all these challenges that the women of our country are experiencing. At government level, we are committed to make sure that we uplift the lives of the women of our country. At society level, men and women must work together and put the interests of women in the front to make sure that we address the interests of women so that we lift them up. And I therefore call on all in society, in companies, in organizations, in sports organizations, in religious bodies, in every endeavor of South African life, that we must focus on uplifting the women of South Africa, because when you uplift a woman, you are essentially uplifting the whole nation. Women always make sure that when they are empowered, they ensure that they empower their families. They are the ones who lift the livelihoods of their families, and by so doing, also lift the life of the nation. And we therefore say to the men of South Africa, we want August month to be a month on which we focus on the best that we can do for the women of South Africa. We want the men of South Africa to pull out all stops and do everything that will lead to the empowerment of women. Even if it just takes saying to the women around you, whether they are your mothers, your grandmothers, your wives, your girlfriends, and even your daughters, just to say, you know what, I love you so much. And that's all you need to say. But you also need to do much more and demonstrate your support and your love for the women of South Africa. The women of South Africa have gone through a lot, possibly more than many other women in the world, because they were oppressed, because they were women, they were black, and they were working class. So therefore, we need to do much more to uplift them. So let us strive to be a society that cares for that section of our population that enhances our lives. It is the women of South Africa that enhance our lives, that make our life better. So let us ensure that we strive in everything we do to enhance that. I do want this to sink in the minds of men, to sink so that men in our country know that real men do not abuse women. A real man does not abuse a woman. Monna o feletseng ha tsamai a bula zip ya gage a bulela bao ba sa batleng. Monna wa nnete ha tsamai a betha mosadi. Monna wa nnete ha rape mosadi. Monna wa nnete a bolae mosadi. So we want the men of our country, of South Africa, to respect our women, to support our women, to uplift our women, to ensure that the women of South Africa succeed. Don't compete with women. Help them to succeed and to prosper. Then if you do all that as a man, you will be a real man. Then you will be recognized for yes, umonna kannete. And in turn, the women of our country will give you the necessary respect and love. Kabani seke se tseba le shine tseba ka kahle kahle. E kore ba basadi ba na re rantso ba rantsa. A ke bolela ka Sepedi bomme ba na le lerato. And ha ba o rata why. So how le monna o ka re ba bang ba tshela. Nna ke tseba gore ha basadi ba o rata ha o le alright mo bona ba tla o rata why. But ha o tsamaya so aowa le a fela lerato. So I want us to make it a tradition as the men of South Africa, on August month and every month, let us do everything that we can to make sure that we uplift the women of our country. But also as government, we continue to look at every program to see the extent to which it uplifts women. And I want to say, where we fail, we want the women of our country to rise and come to us and say, you are failing us. You are not doing what we expect you to do to uplift us and to make sure that we have a better life. I want to conclude by saying we are committed. Rodi misera ori. Zote zine zanga nakisa buchiro abafumakadzi bafano Afrika dzonga rezite urezi yeta mta ilava kuri hinkwaswo leswi nga swi endlaka ku ri vutomi bya vanhu va hina va vamhani buya amahlweni kahle. Re batla gore bomme le basetsana le bokoko ba rena ba phele botse mo South Africa, re etse gore maphelo a bona a tswelle pele ka tsela e tshwanetseng. Ke a le leboga. You've come out in your numbers, and I want to appreciate that. This is the best Women's Day celebration we have had in many years. And you know, for 3 reasons. This is the best for 3 reasons. Well, 4 reasons. Because it's being held in Limpopo. Limpopo is right up there. The second reason is that we've got young women who are at school here with us, and I want to applaud them. You have made our Women's Day excellent. The third reason is that today I have more ministers and deputy ministers. I keep telling them that they must come to national events. I want to applaud the ministers and deputy ministers who are here, that they have come. And the fourth reason, and there's a fifth reason, the fourth reason, which makes me really happy as your president, is that I am seeing the diverse nature of our population. Quite often when we hold events, it's only just black faces. Mamo tarine bakhoa. What? Balungu bakona nyamungu. Abakhensa ku ri ba fikile. South Africa leyi ya hina hinkwenu. Na vona ha khensa ku ri va kona. I am happy that we've got some of our white compatriots amongst us today. And I want this to keep growing and growing. National events must not only be for black South Africans, it must be for all of us. The fifth reason why this is the best Women's Day is that all of you women, you are so beautiful. Thank you very much.
Amanda, viva Limpopo, viva! And let me take this opportunity to greet my honorable president together with our honorable premier. Mr. President, you gave us 5 reasons. Mr. President, when you were speaking, you gave us 5 reasons for this success of this event. There is one, the 6th one. The 6th one is Limpopo remains province #1 in South Africa as far as safety is concerned. So because of this, we are saying to you, Mr. President, Limpopo is safe for anyone to come and live and do business in. So when you go back, make sure that you bring more investors so that we can be empowered as women. Mr. President. In my mother tongue, when an elderly has spoken, so now we want to sweep the footprint of our president by calling upon King Munada to come and see. ni vuya inkomo. Hello. Sayifika amakumu ka nongonoko wa hina wa siku ra namuntlha. Loko va heta ku vulavula lava nga ta hi khensa hi ta vitana na khulbi. Mr. President, lava ni va vonaku va cina a hi swihoxa ti-region tin'wana i Mopani ntsena. Swi endleka a Mopani ti beleni mavoko va Mopani. Hina a hi import ti-artists, we don't import artists. We do have our own. Munada is from Dani village, I'm Kholoboto. Man Glenn from Giyani. Another one who's coming is from Tzaneen. We don't import. Honorable MEC Mabungu, the MEC for Education in Limpopo, may you please come and render the vote of thanks.
Di Masiari ai tshameni hansi ai sungule ku ti bela mavoko hi madzanda na madzanda a vanhu va representa ku Limpopo va representa ku South Africa ai ti beleni mavoko. Van'wanyani a hi le ku beni mavoko a ri dirhwele zwandla uri namusi ro bva ri vafumakadzi ra da ra takalela ḓuvha lashu. Ndi khou livhuwa vhatshimbidza mushumo. Thank you so much, program directors, the Deputy Minister, Honorable Mabe, our Honorable MEC, Honorable Mate. Let me take this time and greet and thank the leadership that is present here. But let me start by appreciating all the women who had the call by the President and we all came out to listen to the message. It is an honor for us as Limpopo Province to really host this event, and we want to thank His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, our Honorable Premier of Limpopo, Dr. Popi Ramatuba. We want to also thank all the ministers and the deputy ministers present. We want to thank the members of the Executive Council of Limpopo and other provinces if they are here. We want to thank the Speaker of the Legislature and members of the Legislature. We want to also thank the members of Parliament and the representatives of the NCOP, the Provincial Secretary of the African National Congress in Limpopo, and the leadership of the region and other regions who are present here. We want to greet and thank the Minister, the President of the ANC Women's League present here, and all the Women's League structures. The leadership from the different political parties represented today in our National Women's Day. We want to greet and thank the representatives of the grannies from our sporting fraternity. Aiba beleni mavoko, bomani va hina, va bola. We want to also thank the DG in the presidency and all the DGs present here, the leadership of the NYDA, the Young Women's Desk, and all progressive formations that we find in Limpopo and in South Africa. The Provincial Commissioner and the police team, we want to appreciate your presence. We want to also greet all the executive mayors, the speakers, the chief whips, the leadership of SALGA, both administratively and politically. We appreciate your presence. all the veterans of our liberation struggle, the distinguished guests that have been invited by both the National Presidency and also the Office of the Premier. We want to also thank all of you, Bomani, Bafumakazi, Bemusi Uchipi, Una Transporto ya Uribone Kabade, Bafemu President Achiamba, Mikandili Mabazi Nampunzu, Mirileruani Isikuraina, Namunta, we are going to celebrate it, Nilabakumi Kensa. We want to thank all the media houses and journalists that are present, and ladies and gentlemen, this morning, Abshen. It has been a profound and significant day for us in Limpopo and the whole of South Africa as we gather under the banner of resilience and also the remembrance here today at our stadium. It has been a privilege, Honorable President, His Excellency, for us as Limpopo to host the event. Today, as we celebrate the 9th of August, we stand on the shoulders of giants, the brave women of 1956, whose spirit echoes through decades, reminding us of the power of collective and unwavering determination. Today, we have been moved, inspired, and all of us, we can agree that we have been challenged. We have celebrated the immeasurable contribution of women, yet also confronted the persistent inequalities and violence that demands our urgent and collective action. In honoring the past, we recommit ourselves to shaping a future where every woman and a girl lives in dignity, safety, and opportunity. To capture the essence of womanhood today is strength, the grace, and the transformative power. I draw just one paragraph of the poem by Maya Angelou about a phenomenal woman. Pretty woman wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size, but when I start to tell them, they think that I'm telling lies. I say, it is the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman phenomenon. And today, this poem continues to give strength to the women of South Africa. We know and we want to appreciate the government in terms of the resolutions and the objectives that resonate with the Department of Women, Youth, Persons with Disability, where we are saying we want to accelerate the eradication of gender-based violence and femicide. We want to also advance women's economic empowerment and participation. And with that, we want to thank His Excellency President. Today we have got our Bakegula, the women that represented us in sports. We are just going to request you to stand up and wave as you greet your president. Thank you so much. We also thank you for coming in your gear that you always wear when you represent South Africa. Your presence here is powerful and is a testament to vitality, resilience, and defying stereotypes. We want to say to our esteemed leadership of the traditional leadership led by our Queen Masalanabo Mujaji and the leadership of our structures, we want to say to you as our traditional leaders, thank you so much for today. Your guidance and custodianship of our cultural heritage continues to be very, very profound, and let's continue to partner in promoting the rights and the dignity of women and girls. Bayete! We want to also say to the Women's League, the Young Women Desk, and all progressive formation led by our minister, your tireless activism, advocacy, and mobilization are an engine of change. And we want to say to our dynamic Premier, Dr. Poppy Ramathuba, Honorable Premier, your leadership is a beacon of strength and intellect and unwavering commitment to the people of Limpopo, especially its women and children. Your hands-on approach as you pull all your MECs, you pull all your executive mayors, your speakers, your chief whips, and all councillors continues to be the symbol of resilience, and that is the spirit we are celebrating today. Rekodibuwa Premier. And finally, Your Excellency, our President, thank you for honoring us with your presence at this crucial gathering in the heart of Limpopo. Your address was not merely words. It was a powerful affirmation, a clearing call, and a roadmap for all of us that you have delegated us to serve the people of South Africa. You correctly connected the legacy of 1956 to the urgent challenges and opportunities of today. We want to say to you, Honorable President, Rekodibuwa Hakenta Chanda Ntachingwe. To all the women, we want to say to you, as we depart from Nkowankowa Stadium today, let us carry forward the spirit of unity, resilience, and unwavering determination. Let us hold ourselves and our institutions accountable to the strategic objectives we champion. Let us support our grannies, heed to the calls of our traditional leadership. Let's strengthen our progressive formation and follow the dedicated leadership set by our Premier and our President. The road ahead demands our continued courage and collaboration. Together, hand in hand, we will build South Africa as the women of 1956 marched. And every woman and girl is safe, is empowered, and free to reach their full phenomenal potential. To all our communities in South Africa and in Limpopo, we are saying, let us say through the words of one of our writers to say, I am not free while another woman is still unfree. I am not free while the shackles of another woman, they are still different from my own. Program directors, the hands that you had roaring, they were also for you, our DM and our MEC, as we thank you for running and championing this program. Amandla, Watinta Bafazi. Thank you so much.
Wamba Javudi, so says the President. It could be your only song is going to usher our President, our Premier, and all the dignitaries out of the marquee to wherever they are going. And the rest are Ritsamai Robalamo. Could be, may you please come to the stage.
Aya ba embe kuanya uri weshe saba